Let me know when you're ready.
Ready, Judge.
Okay. We're going to get on the record. This is 24 SC 001279 and 25 SC 002519. Both cases are State versus Sinkfield. Mr. Sinkfield is here in court with his lawyer, Ms. Taylor. Ms. Smith is here for the state. And Mr. Sinkfield, it's my understanding that you're ready to enter pleas in both cases. Is that correct?
Sir.
Okay. Ms. Smith is going to put you under oath in just a moment and then ask you a bunch of questions about your cases and your rights. You need to answer those questions truthfully and completely. You also need to let me know, or Ms. Taylor, if you have any questions about the things we're discussing. Will you do that?
Sure.
Yes? Okay. Make sure you answer out loud. Use that outside voice so Ms. Rivers can hear you, and we'll go from there. As in, when you're ready.
I'm ready, okay. Mr. Sinkfield, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Speak up so that the court reporter can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can lower your hands. Please state your true, correct, and legal name for the court.
Marquette and one Sinkfield.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
Oh, ma'am.
And is there any medication that you would normally take that you haven't been given today?
Ma'am.
How old are you and how far have you gone in school?
28 years of age, and I graduated high school with a high school diploma
Where'd you go to high school?
at Great High School.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Ma'am.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in these indictments?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time to discuss your case with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with her services?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client has a full understanding of this proceeding?
I am. I believe, certainly believe he understands proceedings, what's going on in his charges.
Do you also waive the formal reading of this indictment and any and all defects in the indictment for the purposes of this plea?
We would waive a formal reading of the indictments for purposes of the plea.
Mr. Sinkfield, do you remember being arrested on these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to the charges in these two indictments. Are you or your attorney aware of any outstanding warrants?
We are not.
Do you understand that this is a non-negotiated or a blind plea and that the state will recommend a sentence to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that the court can impose any sentence authorized by law, including a higher sentence that is recommended by the state, up to the maximum sentence on each charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence? Do you understand that this is a guilty plea which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Ma'am.
Do you also understand that if you're charged with a crime in the future, that this plea may be used to enhance that sentencing, even on a federal case?
Ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation or parole, that your probation or parole may be revoked based on you entering this guilty plea today?
Speak up now so that she
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be following a conviction from a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, the right to hold public office, the right to serve on a jury, the right to obtain a passport, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you cannot use, receive, possess, transport, or own a firearm, and that if you did, you could be charged with another felony offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering this plea of guilty?
Ma'am.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to see and hear the witnesses called to testify against you, the right to the assistance of counsel, either hired by you or court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney, the right to the presumption of innocence, which means that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of these charges, the right to testify on your own behalf or remain silent, the right to present other evidence of your own and call your own witnesses, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial. Do you understand that those are the rights that you're waiving by entering this guilty plea?
What now? Okay. What now? Right. Right, that's what they're saying, that by pleading, you're giving up the right to call witnesses into court for a trial.
Yeah.
So you don't want a
Yes.
trial, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client understands that these are the rights that they'll be waiving by entering a plea?
Yes.
Mr. Sinkfield, has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter into this guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
As to indictment number 24 SC 001279, how do you plead to count one, possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute?
Guilty.
As to indictment number 25 SC 002519, how do you plead to count one, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you do not have a right to appeal directly from your guilty plea? But if you believe that there is some type of error in your guilty plea, you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal.
Mm.
Do you also understand that that process has to be completed within 30 days from today?
Ma'am.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today for a felony charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this guilty plea?
Ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Sinkfield. Your Honor, if this case were to proceed to trial, starting with the indictment ending in 1279, the facts would show that on July 5th, 2023, Officer Pearson, along with Officer Augustine from the Atlanta Police Department, were patrolling the area of Cortlandt Street and Baker Street. That's in Atlanta, Georgia, and also in Fulton County. While they were patrolling this area, they observed Mr. Sinkfield walking on South Cortlandt Street. The officers were aware that Mr. Sinkfield did have 2 warrants out for his arrest in Fulton County and DeKalb County. Because of that, they approached Mr. Sinkfield and detained him. At this time, the officers put him into custody after confirming that he did have those 2 warrants from Fulton County and DeKalb County. At this time, the officers searched Mr. Sinkfield after he was placed under arrest, where they found substance that was later identified by the GBI as crack cocaine, and it weighed at 3.926 grams. The officers also found $41 on his person in denominations of 1s and 5s inside of his pocket. And regarding that crack cocaine that was found, it was in individual baggies. Because of this, the officers concluded that that the defendant in this case may potentially be selling, and charged him with possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute. Regarding the facts in the indictment ending in 2519, in this case, on April 13th, 2023, officers of the Atlanta Police Department was following up on a complaint about a narcotics-related activities that was going on in 355 Peachtree Street Northeast, that's in Atlanta, Georgia, and also Fulton County. When the officers got to that location, they saw 2 males involved in a hand-to-hand transaction. When the officers went to approach those 2 males, the only person that was still there was the defendant. The other person had walked away. However, the officers detained the defendant in this case and then eventually placed him under arrest. At this time, the officers searched his person and they found a handgun on the defendant. They ran his name through the GCIC and found that he did have previous felonies. So he was arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And those are the facts of the case in both of the indictments we have before us. Regarding the recommendation from the state, as a global offer, the state is recommending a 10-year to serve 18 months with a balanced probated offer. Regarding the special conditions of probation, the state is recommending for the defendant to have a Fourth Amendment waiver for him to complete an alcohol and drug abuse evaluation with treatment if necessary, for the defendant to have no drugs unless they're prescribed, for him to complete 60 community service hours, be gainfully employed, and also forfeit the monies and the weapon that was seized on the defendant in the indictment ending in 2519 and also 1279. And that is all from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for that. I need to check one thing. All right. So I have some criminal history information because there's a recidivist notice. It would be helpful to know how many total cycles
15 total,
and the two most recent arrests.
2019 possession of cocaine, 10 conviction. I know the ag assault 2025.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's not an RC because it's a DeKalb case. I see that on the recidivist notice. That was a DeKalb conviction. Was that the most recent? It's not showing. Okay, but arrests, I know he got arrested in 23 because that's these cases. Are you showing?
I don't remember.
Okay,
Well, no, this is part of the 13 cycle.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Taylor.
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Saintfield, I'll address the 2021 arrest. That case is actually still pending and it's unindicted, I believe.
Well, there was one, he pled in July of 2022 to aggravated assault in
Okay,
DeKalb.
okay, I'm mistaken. I'm
Okay.
mistaken.
He is still on probation? How much remains? Okay,
I got you. Okay, I'm sorry. And I misunderstood him, Judge. He was saying that is the only case that he has, he is on active probation on.
Got it.
And
Okay.
hasn't had any issues. Okay. So I misunderstood him.
that's okay.
And then the 2019 case, Judge, is I would say actually similar to this 2024 case where he's charged with possession with intent to distribute, Judge.
His criminal history, other than the DeKalb case,
Right.
is all very similar. It's
Right.
simple possession, it's a
Right.
gun, none of it's good, but
Right.
it is
Right.
in that vein of street dealing.
Right. But Judge, that's what he is actually disputed, that he was dealing in drugs. He actually is a drug user.
Okay,
And I believe in this case, in 2024, he had 3 grams. It was just in different bags. That was all he had was the drugs on him. They approached him because they said they knew him. The police said they were familiar with him and recognized that he had outstanding warrants. And when they searched him, they found the crack cocaine on him. They did not see him dealing in drugs or making any kind of transactions or anything. And he indicated to me that he was a user. He had an issue. That was in 2024. The 2023 incident, they claimed they saw people doing hand-to-hand, him and somebody doing a hand-to-hand transaction, but he denies that. Obviously, he had no drugs on him, had no money on him. He did have a handgun on him. And he made the same mistake that we know a lot of these young men make, Judge, which is the area that I be in. I felt like I needed to protect myself. I know it's wrong. I know now. Certainly not. Obviously, he hasn't been in any trouble since then, Judge. This was 23. The possession of cocaine case was in 23. The gun case was in July of. I'm sorry, April. July, I think, of 24. So he hasn't been in any trouble since then. Has been working. I think he said he gave some paperwork to somebody here in the courtroom the last time he was here. He'd been doing landscaping work. He also, Judge, helps take care of his grandfather. His family is here in court, his mom, his siblings are here in support of him. His grandfather normally comes to court with him. I've met him and talked to him several times in relation to Mr. Sinkfield cases, but he is actually in the hospital, so he's not able to be here today in support of him. So, Judge, as you heard, he's 28 years old. He'll be 29 in July. He did graduate from Grady High School, born and raised here in Atlanta. His entire family is here. And like I said, the bottom line with Mr. Sinkfield is that certainly his issues have been, I believe, with substance abuse. He's not a drug dealer. Like I said, even in that case, he had $41. And so I don't think that makes you much of a drug dealer with $41 in your pocket. And again, they did not see him doing anything wrong, just walking, and they recognized him, that there was warrants for him. The warrants from, like I said, the 2021 case. He went to DeKalb, stayed there for a while before he was brought to over here to Atlanta on the cocaine charge. He was telling me how much time he had spent over there, but I told him that you can't get credit for that time in DeKalb, even though you had this Fulton County hold warrants on you, waiting or whatever. So, Judge, again, he is accepting responsibility and it's trying to make amends. Again, he has stayed out of trouble. He's been on the probation on the case out of DeKalb, so he is on probation on that case. And certainly I've been very concerned about these two cases. And you know, having to leave, not certainly wanting to leave his family, wanting to continue on the road to recovery and doing what he's supposed to do. And they are certainly in support of that. And like I said, he's managed to not get in any trouble since July of 24. Judge, I am asking the court to consider the sentence the court that the state is asking for, but with the deviation that it be reduced to time served. He's already served, I think, about 3 or 4 months, Judge, on these cases prior to making bond. And even with increasing the conditions, certainly he understands no drugs, no alcohol. He would have to have an alcohol and drug evaluation. So he's not opposed to any of that. He welcomes that. Community service, they're recommending 60 hours. I'd ask the court to consider, if you consider what we're asking for, which is to give him time served on the, for this case and probation, increase the community service hours, increase the time, certainly knowing that he's on probation for 10 years, even if it's no early termination of the probation. He's willing to do that because he wants to be able to remain with his family, continue the road to recovery. He's very concerned about his grandfather and being able to help his grandfather. And like I said, continue on the road that he's been on, Judge. That's what we're asking the court to consider. He knows having a gun was wrong. He certainly would never do that again. Hasn't had a gun since then. That was in 2023, the gun charge. So that's been now April. Matter of fact, that's now been 3 years ago for that case. So we'd ask the court to consider our request to give him time served and probation in this case.
Got it. Mr. Sinkfield, I've got some questions for you. Do you have questions for me?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're not sure? Do you have a question for the judge?
Oh, no.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
No,
All
sir.
right.
No, sir.
All right.
All right. Question 1. How's your grandfather doing?
I'm really skeptical about getting to the hospital right now because I don't want him to see me and go on and die off. That's the main reason why I haven't been there to see him yet. But as my family said, he's doing not he's
not doing
good.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have kids?
No, sir.
What job do you have now?
Right now, I work with Malcolm Brothers and LLCs, and it's a landscaping business. I'm also into like other gigs and Craigslist jobs. I'm not sure if you're familiar with or anybody familiar with Craigslist gigs.
Tell me what that, I've heard of Craigslist. What do you do through Craigslist
It's
gigs?
It's like various gigs that people post for help, for side jobs, for quick money,
Got
things
it.
of that nature. But
So it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go do this for 6 years, but someone would say, we're tearing down this wall, could you come help? Or we're moving these boxes, or
Yeah.
we need to do something, and you say yes, you show up, you help, you get paid.
yes, I'm on that heavy.
And then you're doing this landscaping work.
Yes, yeah.
Is
And
that,
how long you been working with the Malcolm Brothers Landscaping LLC?
It's been like 2 or 3 years now.
Okay, and then on the Craigslist, just like the judge was indicating, what types of jobs do you get with the
Like
Craigslist?
maintenance field, landscaping, whatever they post.
Just like what he
art
said,
labor.
it could be tearing down a building, picking up labor, picking up, because he was telling me they was cleaning up scrap from some buildings or something, that kind of thing. Okay.
They say pull up, shove a boulder with your head. I'll do it if I can.
All right.
You know what I mean?
shove a boulder with your head. How do you get around? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes, I do have a driver license, but I sometimes use Marta, and if I get up enough, I rent a car.
Okay.
Get from point A to B.
Got it.
I ask my mother, and my sister to haul me.
Okay.
And it's
All those
brother
people
and
back
sister.
there are relatives of yours or friends of yours?
My mom right there, my
Yeah.
2 little sisters right there, to the right of her, and my brother in the middle. That's his friend. Well, I call all them my brothers.
Okay. So that's close friends and family, and they're here for you.
One is a friend, the rest of one is his brother, the other 2 are his sisters and his mom.
I got it. Who lives in your household? All these people?
No.
No.
I go to my mom's house from time to time, but I'm currently living with my grandma.
You're living with your grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where you.
But sometimes you stay at your mom's?
Yeah. They help
Okay.
with those.
Who stays with your grandma besides you?
No one but my granddad.
Okay. And is this the granddad who's in the hospital right now? Do any of your other siblings, brothers or sisters, help take care of your grandmother?
Yes. That one right there, Candasia, him too.
Okay.
If he
All right. They help you out, help her out. Okay. Are you the oldest, the youngest, in between?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay. All right. You were arrested in July of 23 for the second of these 2 cases. I'm gonna call it the cocaine case. You went to jail for a while here. You were in the Fulton County Jail for almost 3 months. Then you went to DeKalb. How long were you in the DeKalb County Jail?
And now I counted like 9, 10 months, I think, almost a year.
So you were over in DeKalb for a long time.
Yeah.
What was going on there? Was that related? Was it a probation revocation?
No, yes, yeah.
Okay.
It was these cases,
It was related to this aggravated assault case that you were there for,
the probation on that.
or the
Yeah.
probation?
Ms. Simpson, what do you have in your system about time Mr. Sinkfield served in connection with that revocation?
He had a hearing, in December of 23.
Mm-hmm.
He was revoked 9 months. The judge gave him credit because he was with us first in July. He received credit from July up to the date of the revocation as Thompson.
Got it. Okay. So when was he, do you have a release date from DeKalb? Would that be in your system?
It's not in mine, but I can get it from the jail law.
That's impressive. You can't get it?
It's showing.
He would have gone in September of 23.
He went in September 23, was released, excuse me, April 1st of 24.
All right. So it's 9 months. Okay. The range, Ms. Smith, for the case ending in 279, the drug case is what?
10 to 40.
Got it. Okay.
And for purposes of the plea will be withdrawn to recidivist knowledge.
Thank you. I had to ask that. I meant to ask that. I didn't get there yet. Thank you. So Mr. Sinkfield, anything else you want to share with me?
I'm pretty sure I shared the letter
You did?
and, you know, the things I've been doing, man. I've been on the straight and narrow. I'm working hard. Like I said, I help keep my little ones level headed and, you know what I mean, keep them on the straight and narrow. My little brother, he played basketball, and later on tonight, he got a
Where does he play basketball?
Doug High School, and
The season's over now.
yes, but
Okay.
they still
Oh,
playing.
sure, you gotta be.
He got a visit in college, Harvard and Boston. He leaves tonight. And
Someone here is going,
yeah,
you're going up to Cambridge?
Boston, Massachusetts, for a Harvard visit.
Basketball is recruiting you?
No, I'm going for academic action, but
Okay,
dealing with basketball.
got it. And you're at Douglas High School?
Yes, sir.
All right.
and that other one, there's China. She's in hair school, I think, and she Candasia right there. She works at a local gym. I think is it yeah, the city of Atlanta, and you know I just keep them level headed and try to drive them to be better than me, and you know the best really.
What do you think changed for you? Because you, for a while, were out in the streets and would have been a very bad role model for each of those. But now you seem to be doing a lot better. And I'm trying to figure out, is that who you are today? Because you're in here saying, Judge, you got to be nice to me, or it's who you are now, as in going forward, Mr. Sinkfield isn't that guy who was getting arrested with drugs and guns. What changed? You growing up,
You know, you get to a certain point to where it's just like I done missed all my birthdays. Incarcerated. And I mean the only thing the only birthday I made was my 23rd birthday, you know. And it's just like it you get tired, you
Yeah.
know, and you just wanna
it's time to change.
yeah, it ain't me, you know. It ain't me. Like that jail, that going to prison, man, it burnt out. You know what I mean? And it ain't making me no better. But you know, it's to make you or break you. But going to the system, it's just like it you able to yeah, like you see too much stuff to where it's like it's trouble. It's easy to get into. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
No, I had a guy in here the other day, older than you, say, Judge, he needed more help than you need. He needed to get into some kind of treatment program. He said, I can just walk down certain streets and I get in trouble. All I have to do is start walking down the street and I'm going to get in trouble. This was a guy in his 40s, But he knew, like, if I'm in the wrong place, it's just too easy. I'm gonna steal something, or I'm gonna smoke something, or I'm gonna buy a gun, and he says, all I have to do is walk down the street, Judge, and it's gonna happen. And it seems like when you were younger, that was you. That you walked down the street and, man, it didn't matter. You had something in your pocket you shouldn't, or you're with someone you shouldn't be, and boom, you're on the ground, you're in the back of the squad car, and you're away from your family.
And
Why should I be confident that that's not happening to you anymore?
Okay, I'm confident.
You're confident. Okay.
It's in my head every time I wake up. You know what I mean? Every time I go to my mom's house and see my little brother running around, and they doing their thing, and see my little sister, you know, and see my other sister pull up. You know, she having cars and things of that nature, and she got her own apartment. And
Look what can happen,
things of that
right?
nature. And I'm the oldest.
Right.
So
You got a little brother who may go to Harvard.
Right. And it's just like, nah, man.
Okay.
My little sister is really she on her stuff, but me keep going to jail and keep in and out of prison and things of that nature, and I can't even get my stuff right. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I can't even get myself together.
Well, it sounds like you're starting to get yourself together, which is good.
And what you told me was that this, I believe Judge, he actually got arrested in the same kind of area, the Cortlandt Street in this other area. He don't go to, like you said, he don't go to those streets where you know you go get in trouble. He doesn't go to those places anymore, is what
Yeah.
you're telling me.
Well, that helps. That helps.
Yeah. They help. They told me to stay away from the Imperial. I don't go by the Imperial. Of course, the hotel's there, but every time I look toward that street, I'm hauling as away.
Good. Okay. I'm glad you're getting away. Mr. Sinkfield, I find that there's a factual basis for both your pleas. These are situations that happened a long time ago, and you have clearly traveled a great distance since then. I don't mean that you went to California. I mean, you've grown up, and you seem to care more about the things that matter, which would be family and having a job so you can help take care of people. And that's great. I hope it sticks. It seems like it has, because these are all a while ago. We're in 26, and these were back in 23. And since then, there hadn't been more. Now, granted, you were out of commission for a big chunk of that time because of your revocation, but it sounds like 25 went pretty smoothly, and you were there for your family in a way that, as the oldest, you ought to be. So anyway, I do find that in July of 23, you had the drugs, and in April of 23, you had the gun. You can't ever have a gun again. Don't have one in your household. If there's one in your grandma's household, you need to get it out, because that's your household. If there's one in your mom's household, it needs to get out, because you can't be around one. If the police, for whatever reason, are coming, maybe there's a 911 call because your grandmother's fallen down and they're trying to help everyone. They see a gun, that's going to be on you. And as a convicted felon, it's going to stick like Velcro, and you're going to jail again. So if you feel a need to protect yourself, protect your family, baseball bat, bow and arrow, axe, no guns. If you and I are having a conversation about you having a gun while you're on probation in these cases, I'll have that conversation, and Ms. Taylor can try to work her magic, but you're going to prison. You got to be away from the guns. Not because I'm worried you're going to go shoot someone, just you're done with them. And it's too dangerous to be around guns. Someone sees you with a gun and they're going, I'm going to shoot first. And so that's something that you can't have anymore. Pretend you're allergic to them. I also find that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Knowing means you've understood what we talked about. And when you didn't, you asked Ms. Taylor. She said some things to you and you said, okay, I get it. Do you feel like you understand what we discussed? All right. Voluntary just means no one's forcing you to enter these pleas. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, can someone in my office sign, actually, they're both accusations, not indictments, doesn't really matter, but can we sign the 2 accusations for you?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Smith?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Sinkfield, can we sign your name to the 2 accusations indicating your guilty pleas?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Sinkfield, by my math, you did at least 9 months in custody. So here's how I'm going to sentence you. On the case ending in 279, I'm going to sentence you to 10 years to serve 9 months with the balance on probation. I am going to add as a special condition of probation, however, that you will spend 10 consecutive weekends, starting not this weekend, but next weekend in jail. You're going to check yourself in Friday in the evening. You get out Sunday in the evening, but we're skipping one weekend. It's going to be 10 weekends, but we're skipping the weekend of July 31st. You're going to be with your family for your birthday. All right? Those 10 weekends are the last time you're ever going to be in jail. They're going to be a reminder of the dumb things you used to do and the value of the good things you have now. Your family, your job, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be fun. You've been there, but it's just weekends. You turn yourself in Friday, you get out on Sunday, you can be working during the week. And like I said, we're going to pass over the weekend of July 31 and have that 10th weekend just be 1 week further in. Other special conditions of probation, there'll be a Fourth Amendment waiver. I'm going to have you submit to a drug and alcohol abuse evaluation. That's just you meeting with a counselor who's going to talk to you to see if there is any ongoing concern about you drinking too much or using something you shouldn't use. And if that person recommends treatment, that treatment is part of your probation, going to NA meetings or AA meetings. And then it may not be an issue, but I'm seeing you right now. I'm not seeing you on weekend nights or whatnot. So I don't know what you put in your system. I do know that if you're putting the wrong thing in your system, it's going to be harder for you to do what you tell me you want to do, which is be there for your family and hold down a job. So if what Ms. Taylor says is accurate, that you were more a user than a seller back in the day, let's just make sure that you don't have any issue in terms of an addiction that someone needs to treat. If they need to treat it, that'll be part of your probation. You'll need to complete 60 hours of community service, and you'll need to do that during the first 6 months of your probation. So get that out of the way early on. And you will forfeit whatever was seized from you in that case from July. Your sentence in the case ending in 519, that's what I'm calling the gun case, is the same. So it's going to be 10 years to serve 9 months with a balance on probation. And you're going to have those 10 weekends in jail, not starting this weekend, but it'll be starting on Friday the 17th. So that's next Friday. You turn yourself in by 5 o'clock. And you go straight to the jail like you're going to visit someone. And they're going to know you're coming. And they'll process you, check you in, and you'll be out by Sunday at 5 o'clock. Again, you'll skip the weekend that is your birthday weekend. And then all the other things, Fourth Amendment waiver, the drug abuse evaluation, community service, and you'll forfeit the gun that was seized from you. Those are all the same. The last thing I'm going to do, Mr. Sinkfield, is set what's called a behavioral incentive date. And so on April 10th of 2029, that's 3 years from now, if you have done all the things you're supposed to do on probation, which I think you will have done by the end of this year, and more importantly, you have stayed out of trouble, probation can say to me, hey, let's close this case out. Sinkfield has been doing what he needs to do. He's 31 years old now. Maybe he's a dad, he's working. Can we not have to spend 7 more years looking over this guy's shoulder? And I'll say yes. But if you've been goofing off and letting your family down, then you got 7 more years of probation. So you've got an incentive to do the things that you have been doing and keep doing them. And I hope you do. Ms. Smith, anything else in connection with Mr. Sinkfield's cases?
Nothing further, thank you.
Ms. Taylor?
Nothing else from us, Judge.
All right.
Sinkfield understands that he has to turn himself in by 5 o'clock on Friday, the 17th. That's his first weekend.
Right, next Friday. And
then-
you're going to do that every weekend for 10 weeks, except
then-
you're skipping your birthday.
Weekend.
And then I don't know how many more weeks it is after that. It's going to be spelled out in your sentencing document. You'll know. Make sure someone gets you there. Don't be late. Don't skip a weekend. Know this, if on Friday, whatever it is, something real bad, say your grandfather passes, call Miss Taylor. She'll call my chambers and we'll postpone that weekend. If an emergency arises and you say, I can't go this weekend because I got to be with my family, my grandfather passed, we'll move that weekend to the end of the list. What you shouldn't do is skip the weekend because it happened and then call and say, oh, by the way, I skipped the weekend because I stubbed my toe. You need to ask in advance, not let us know afterwards, because probation will reach out to me saying, hey, he didn't show up this weekend. Here we go. The Mr. Sinkfield in court is not the Mr. Sinkfield in real life.
And Judge, if I could, by your saying that for the record, indicate that if you can't get in contact with me, then you need to contact probation and the emergencies that the judge has indicated.
Right. You should have a probation officer already.
Right.
You live in Fulton County?
I stay in
Your grandma's home is what county?
the cap.
Okay, so you're going to keep the same probation officer. Ms. Simpson, who is with probation, is going to give you reporting instructions for these two cases. One officer for all your cases.
That's gonna be the probation officer.
And so it'll probably be the same one, but you may have to, and Ms. Simpson's going to tell you this, you may have to report to the Fulton office the first time for these cases because they're Fulton cases. I don't know how that works, but she's going to talk to you once we're done. Okay? Are you guys going to make sure he doesn't screw this up? Good. All right. Hey, good luck in Boston. All right. See you guys.
All right, thank you, Judge. That's all I had to make, the excuse.
Yes.
See if he knows he has to talk to probation.
So we've got